Hello. Today working on stretching a fence for our goats. Gonna extend their field a little bit. They have grazed through what we started off with a little fence, but I'm going to extend it to encompass some new foliage for them to eat on. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to stretch and tighten the fence for them. And I'm going to show you how I'm stretching this fence without a come along. Okay, so here's what our goats were eating through this over here. So here's the fence I'm starting to put up. And here's where I'm starting to extend it. I'm using these trees as posts. Going to tighten them across there and then tack them down. And then here's the new foliage I'm looking to get them into so they can start working on eating this. Because they've cleared off a lot of this around the trees and stuff that I had here originally. There they are. Say Odin, Nessa, and then our escape artist is in the box right now until I get the fence put back together. But that's Lexi in the box in her little goat shed. But yeah, so I'm trying to get them to eat all this up. But to do that, I got to fence it in. And that's what I'm working on right now. So what I need is a pug. Hi. Hey, Puggo. What you doing? Puggy pug. Alright, so I'm using my hedge trimmer. I got an electric hedge trimmer, and I'm cutting all this down so I can get the trees cleared off. My come along broke, so I got a couple ratchet straps, which will work the same way. Just a little extra work. And then I got some poultry ties. Ugh. Poultry staples. These are 3/4 inch. I'm using those to hammer into the trees to hold the fence up in place after I stretch it. And then you'll need a hammer and your fence. And then I'm using that post right there to stretch out this fence. All right. Now to stretch the fence, you got to come to the opposite side of what you're stretching it to. So if this was a post, right now I'm using this tree here. But you want to be, so I'm going to tighten up on that side, the opposite side of the post. So I want to come on the opposite side to stretch the fence. So I'm just going to run this post through the last, I'm about 3 spaces up from the bottom. I'm going to run it in there, and then I'm going to run it back through the top, just to get something to latch onto. So if you look, you can, so here you can see I ran it through the last about 3 spaces up and ran it through the top of there, and then I run it through the top about 3 spaces down. And I'm going to put my ratchet straps across here and then one across the bottom, and then pull it evenly. That way it doesn't pull just the middle, and it'll stretch out the fence even instead of pulling just the middle across. All right, so now I'm going to hook up the ratchet strap. All right, so I got the post ran. So when you are stretching fence, you're going to need something to stretch it to. I got a tree just right down the stretch here, so I'm going to stretch it to that. But yeah, you'll need something to attach to stretch your fence. So always keep that in mind, that when you are stretching your fence, you got to have something to attach it to on the back side so that you can stretch. So using a ratchet strap, I went around the tree and then looped it back onto the strap, and then I fed it down the line to my post that I put into the fence, and then did the same thing here, looped it around and latched it into the ratchet strap. So if you're using a ratchet strap, you're going to pull your slack out. There you go, pulled the slack out. I need to just give it a couple of ratchets just to hold it in place at first. Like I said, if you're using it, you're gonna have to have 2. So here's my other ratchet strap, did the same thing. Fed it through. Now I'm gonna pull the slack out so that it's tight, and then just give it a few ratchets to get it started. That way it doesn't fall off where I wanted at. So now I got one here, one toward the top, and then we're gonna ratchet these down tighter. And that's gonna pull the slack out of this fence here. So we're gonna work it around the tree, get it tight. So we got a little bit of slack there. So, like I said, just do it even across the top. And we're gonna tighten, it'll tighten that fence over there, around the tree. There's the top one. I'll do the bottom one a little bit. So you can see the fence is pulling across there just a little bit. I ain't gonna pull a bunch, but the sense I'm doing that is it is gonna make your fence nice and tight. So here you can see the fence, it was loose. Now it's pretty tight. Right across the bottom. You see this stretched out nice and tight. It's not floppy like it was. Now I'll go back through here and put a, I think I'm probably gonna line it with some bricks maybe to keep him from climbing under this right now. But it should be nice and tight for him. And then I got this thorny brush behind it to kind of hold it in place. So with the fence, I'm gonna give it a couple more pulls. I don't want to pull too much. This is not the strongest fence, but I do want it nice and tight. There you go. See, it's got a nice bounce to it now. It's pretty tight. So I'm going to come behind with those poultry nets, and where this fence meets the tree, I'm going to put my poultry nets in. My nails, poultry staples. All right. Drop my staples. Crap. Ow! Shoot. Thorns. I hate thorns. This is all thorn patches, basically. So the thorns are everywhere. Trying not to stick myself with thorns, but they're everywhere. Hi, Odin. How are you? Checking out the new space, bud? Huh? I bet. All right, like I said, taking my poultry staples. I'm gonna go in between, so I don't want it to lose slack where the fence pulled tight. I'm gonna tack it into, so it doesn't go back the other way. What are you doing, bud? You got out. I know, it's because I haven't got it tightened down yet, huh? Come here. Oh, hey. Come here. Oh. There he is. Odin got out the fence. I don't have it all tightened up yet. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so like I was saying, so here's where we stretched the fence on the left side. We were stretching this section from that tree to this tree. We're stretching the fence out against that. So when you stick your nails in, you want to make sure that you catch a piece of fence that's pulling that direction. That way when you let the slack off of your ratchets, it doesn't go back into where you just stretched. So like I said, here's another one. I went in between these T's, catching this line here. That way when I let the slack off of this side, it doesn't go back over here. Because if you had it tacked over here, then between here on this thing, on this middle, the fence would just slide back and you'd have slack in your fence again. So make sure that you catch this vertical line in between your nail staples, like I did here. There's one down here. You're catching the verticals. I went all the way down to the bottom of the tree, catching that vertical line to make sure the slack didn't go back. So now that it's stretched out, we'll let the slack off these ratchet straps. And that will, you'll see this side will go back to, it's stretched tight right here, but this will go back to slack. And then that over there will stay tight. Release one, release two. So these are off. There you go. See how this is all slack and loose now, but this stayed tight where I had them tacked in. So this is still tight. So I just got to finish the rest of this. I got another stretch that direction. And then I'll tie this in and then put some support beams because I got a long stretch for this side. I don't have anything really to attach it to tree wise up until the end. But yeah, that's how you can stretch a fence to make it nice and tight. I hope you liked the video. If you do, like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments. Leave them in the comments section. Thank you. Have a great day.